What's up, hockey think tankers? Welcome to another Friday Face-Off sponsored by Titan Battle Gear. If you heard our recent conversation with founder of Titan Battle Gear, you know why we're excited about what they are building. Titan is changing how players think about their base layer protection. It's Velcro-free, breathable, lightweight, and made with the highest rated cut-resistant fabric on the market. It's no wonder that they've recently become an official partner of USA Hockey to help advance player safety. This is definitely the gear I want my athletes wearing. Hockey Think Tank listeners get 15% off at titanbattlegear.com/GMBM. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Friday Face-Off. What's happening, everybody? We got a fun Friday Face-Off for you. This is a listener question. So anytime you guys reach out, man, unless it's a really bad one, which we don't have very many of those, I don't think, we love to talk about on the podcast some of the questions that you guys have. And so really, really good one here. And I'm just going to read it word for word. But hi, Toph. I wanted to reach out and thank you for all you've done with the Hockey Think Tank. I'm a local Chicago kid, and I listened to the podcast for many years. It's helped me a ton throughout my hockey career. I'm now playing club hockey, though, and have been struggling to find that same joy and drive I once felt. First of all, thank you for the kind words. Hockey was all I dreamt about growing up, and now I'm trying to pivot and find that next thing for me, which has been challenging. I'd love if you and Jeff could do an episode or short shifts on that topic, as I'm sure I'm not the only one struggling with this. Once again, thank you for everything that you already do. So we're talking about transition from, trying to find that next passion once the hockey bug is gone, or once you're in that next phase of life. This is certainly something that Vex and I have gone through. This is certainly, we're still in hockey, but we're not hockey players anymore. And so, yeah, the question, man, something that you've done, also something as an entrepreneur, you talk with a lot of other entrepreneurs. Many of them were athletes growing up and have played at higher levels in whatever sport that was at. So what's your advice to this kid who's making that transition? And let's go. 10 minutes on the clock, baby.
Number one, you got to find a locker room. Like, you're still playing clubs, so you have the locker room, so that's great. But I don't know if you're a senior and you're finished after this year, or you're a freshman, right? But like, whenever hockey, like competitive hockey, is over, which for you it sounds like it's going to be after college here, make sure you find another locker room. And that could be in a gym. That could be a group of friends who meet once every 2 or 3 weeks or once a month to talk about life or business. It could be a men's group. Like, you got to do something where you find a locker room. I think one of the reasons that I didn't go crazy when my career was over is because I pretty much still have a locker room, and I created my own locker room, right? Like, my gyms are my locker room. It's very similar to that feeling and the culture and what I get to be in every day. So I lost a locker room, but then I just built my own. So for me, like, I think that that's really important. Something that I notice also with a lot of players that have a tough time transitioning, they stop exercising. Look, if you played hockey at any level, and if you're playing at the club level, that means you probably played, A, AA, or AAA growing up, right? You exercised extremely vigorously, probably 4 to 6 days a week for the last 15 years of your life, 10 years of your life. A lot of players that have a tough time transitioning, I think they go through a hard time mentally also, because a lot of them stop exercising vigorously. They're like, you don't need to exercise the way that you did when you played, but I do think it's really important to continue to exercise, because when we exercise, we release these positive chemicals from our brain. Okay. Toph and I actually just talked about this on the episode that came out on Monday with Jacob Newton about how he feels better when he exercises in the morning versus going to work right away, right? So like, that's something that I think a lot of players lose. They lose the vigorous exercise, they lose a locker room. And then as far as finding that next passion, I would say, I watched the movie Yes Man a lot at the end of my career, the last few years of my career, and the first few years of my transition. And literally, for the most part, I said yes to everything after doing that. I've talked about this on the podcast years ago a lot. I literally said yes to like every opportunity that came my way. And that allowed me to try new things that I wouldn't have tried, meet new people that I wouldn't have met. Like, I said yes to like every business opportunity that came my way. And I can look back now. I retired after the 2018 season. So it's been eight years, I think. And I can look back now and be like, whoa, this thing that I'm doing now that's like really cool, that I love, that makes me money, is because I went and did this thing that somebody asked me to do that I had no idea was a thing, and I just said yes to. So I think like having an open mind and saying yes to a whole bunch of opportunities would be really important. And then two, you should take up anybody who will let you shadow them. Okay. In all different fields, right? Like, banking, firefighting, like whatever, man, like whatever you like, go shadow some people that you have friends or acquaintances in those fields where you can go and shadow them and learn about what does a day look like? Is this something that I could see myself doing? Am I passionate about this? And then kind of go from there and work your way up, I'd say. And then D, there is no D. I just wanted to say A2D.
Oh, honestly, dude, I don't have much to add. That was like straight fire.
Well, I've talked to so many of my clients about this.
And I was like, you literally said the same things that I would have said, find the right, like you said, I like the way you say it better than I would have. Find your locker room. That's, I think, the most important one. I mean, you could put exercise in there too, but like finding your locker room, surrounding yourself with good people, that's insane. Like it's absolutely the number one most important thing for me. And having a group, having a community, of shared interest or shared personality, whatever, like finding a way to retain the camaraderie that all of us miss the most when we leave the game is everything. And for me, I got right into coaching, so kind of still had the team, and then play some men's league, which is big. And, now have moved and we're a little bit more stable, and finding some friends in a community here in the town that I live in. And yeah, man, it's so incredibly important. And I love what you said there too about and it's actually for a couple different reasons, as far as like shadowing people, because I think it's really healthy to like try new things. And almost like when you're a young kid and you're trying new sports, and then you're going to figure out what that passion is from trying a lot of different things. I think that's great. But also in the way that you described it, I think mentorship is huge too. And so finding somebody that's a little bit older than you, that maybe has had some of the life experiences that you will be having someone like that to kind of turn to as you're going through that transition can be huge, can be absolutely huge. And some people find that in mentorship, some people find that in therapy, but getting somebody to, help you to answer the questions that this phase of life that you're going into are going to be asked of you. So I think that's good. And then the other thing that like I would say too, and again, I don't know the person who sent this over to us, their background, but we sacrifice a lot on this journey. And there's a lot of things that we say no to. There's a lot of experiences that we don't have, as far as, some stuff with friends or different experiences, because we sacrifice it for our journey, for our goal of playing at the highest levels of this game. And so have some fun, man. Like have some fun. And as somebody like Vex, you and I are 40 years old right now. People who are at that age and getting it, you're so young. You're so young, and you don't need to have it all figured out. So have experiences, have fun. If you did dedicate your life to this sport, find a way to maybe relive. I don't want to say relive, but maybe some of the things that you sacrificed from a social standpoint, go do it, man. Have some fun. Go travel. Things like that. I think I kind of wish I would have done that a little bit more, or had the opportunity to. I kind of got right into coaching when I was done playing. So never, and could do some stuff in the summer with my wife and stuff, but go have some fun, It's
like, I always wanted to go to like a big EDM concert, like techno type of music, but like they were always, I know it sounds stupid, but they were always like in the summer, like, and in the summer, like I was training and I was not going on vacation. Like that's just not me. Right. So a few years ago, went to EDC Vegas, and it was like something I never could have done when I want to play. And now I was probably like 37 at the time, 38. People like, what are you doing? And I was like, dude, I always wanted to do this when I played. So I'm going to go do it right now.
I'm going to get the glow sticks out. And
I was wearing glowing underpants. I don't know. Man. It was just a time. All right. Yeah, but get some mentors, say yes to every opportunity, and think about the things that you enjoy doing, and then think about how can I make money at these? Because I'll tell you what, it might take you longer to start making the money you want, but you'll want to work at it for longer the rest of your life if you actually enjoy doing it. So good luck, dog.
Good stuff, man. Great job, Vex. That was legit. Nice work. Time's up.
Thanks, bro. Peace. Share show.